Hey guys, welcome to Mossolonian Musings. It's been a little while. We've been absent for a couple of weeks, but we have been giving you some all church information in between. And so this week we wanted to jump back and give you some extra updates of what you need to know. Joining me today is Pastor Gary. He's got a moving background, so he has moved to the next level. It's pretty amazing. I don't know how he did it in Bishopville, but whatever. And then we got Pastor Tim. Awesome, and he's doing proper Zoom etiquette. And Pastor Brian Lloyd is joining us from way down in the vault of Live Venue Operation Central Command. It's pretty cool. So we're glad to be joining you today, and we want to give you a few updates. What we're going to be covering today is talk a little bit about reopening. We're going to, Pastor Tim's going to give us an update on small groups, talk a little bit about graduates and a special event coming this weekend. Pastor Lloyd talked to us a little bit about Celebrate Recovery, some information and update. Pastor Gary will talk to us a little bit about peace. And then I want to give you a couple updates about Grow Track. And finally, we'll talk about what is this thing called a broadcast audience. And so first, before anything else, I want to talk about our reopening strategy. And here's what I want you to hear from my heart. It's not nearly as important when as it is how. So hear my heart. It is not nearly as important when are we going to open as it is how. And let me just remind you from Romans chapter 12 what the Apostle Paul said. He said, guys, don't just pretend to love others, but really love them. Hate what's wrong. Hold tight to what's good. Love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. Be patient in trouble. Would you agree right now it's a good time for some patience because we're in a trouble season? He says, guys, keep on praying. When God's people are in need, be ready to help them. Pastor Gary's going to talk about the fact that you have been doing that. Always be eager to practice hospitality. You know, I don't see anything in the Bible that says hospitality is something that you only do by a handshake when you come to church. Hospitality is so much more broad. Extending love and courtesy to everyone around you. Bless those who persecute you, so don't curse them. That means some of you have a posture that you feel like the church is being persecuted. Well, if that's your posture, that's fine. Don't curse them. Instead, pray that God will bless them. Be happy with those who are happy. Weep with those who weep. This is a season we should be joining our hearts together, not becoming more divisive. Live in harmony with each other. And by the way, for all of you on social media etiquette, Romans 12:16. Don't think you know it all because you don't. Guys, that's right out of the Word of God. Can I get an amen and an amen? Well, Pastor Tim, talk to us for just a second about what's going on in small groups.
Oh man, I love that. That just took place last night. That was one of our groups. Weather's starting to warm up and groups are actually starting to meet. They're still practicing social distancing there. But I just think in a season like this, it's so important, that verse that you just read, with practice hospitality and weep with one another. The connection piece is so important. And we've said it many times, small groups are the lifeblood of Oak Ridge. So I would just encourage groups. You know, many groups kind of take a break during the summer. But quite honestly, I don't know how many people are going to be traveling and that sort of thing with everything that's going on. So I would just encourage groups, maybe if you're breaking from the week-to-week meeting, even though we will still be providing the green room content and we'll be giving you some stuff to unpack the messages each week. We'll be doing that all through the summer. But even if you break from that, I would still encourage groups to maybe meet more than the once a month that's recommended. Maybe it's once or twice a month, and maybe it's a cookout or maybe it's a servant project. I know a lot of times Pastor Gary is going to talk about the feeding and that sort of thing. A lot of times these are people that are already doing life together in small groups because they have relationships with one another. So there's plenty of opportunities to serve as a group as well. One thing I can guarantee is that groups that just meet for connection and fellowship or whatever, you take it to a whole next level when you serve together. So I would just encourage groups to maybe do that. Yeah, small groups are still going strong. It's kind of cool, you know, in this season to where, you know, you just referenced the church is still going strong. Well, the church is the people, and I'm seeing that even in small groups, which is just so encouraging. I know even your group met outside last week, and that was really awesome. So you get bonus points this week, Pastor Brian.
We had a great time. In fact, we attempted to blow up 2 propane tanks, but we never were able to set those off. But we had an awesome time.
Just be sure you get video of that.
Huh?
You be sure you get video of that and upload it if that happens.
We'll title it "The Demise of Mossolonia." Hey,
awesome.
Speaking of the changing of the seasons and getting outside, there's also some cool things going on with the season of graduates. We're seeing it all over the internet. And Pastor Brian Lloyd, talk to us a little bit about what's going down this weekend.
We wanted to do something for our graduates. There's a lot of people missing out on things through COVID-19, and graduates are one of them. So we've been asking everyone to either post on our Facebook page a picture of their graduate, or if they are a graduate. And we've been getting a lot, but there's still time to send us some. And we would ask that you send them to pics@orbc.net. You can email your graduate picture to pics@orbc.net. And then we're going to do something and during the service to celebrate them and just let them know that we love them and we're proud of them. So I'm looking forward to that this Sunday.
And then also relevant in your ministry, there's some changes coming up that impacts recovery. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Celebrate Recovery has been meeting on Zoom, and with some of our reopening plans and what the governor is allowing us to do, we're actually going to have CR this Friday night, which we are so excited about. And we've got such a phenomenal leadership team and volunteers that are part of CR, and they're just ready to get back. And so this Friday night, we'll start having small groups as part of our Celebrate Recovery right here on campus on Friday nights from 7 to 8. And it'll be a little bit different. We won't have the large group gathering. Typically, you have a large group gathering for the first hour, and then the second hour we break out into small groups. So we're going to go directly into those small groups so that we can continue to be compliant to the current regulations that are out there. And each group will have about 10 people, not about, it will be 10 or less in each room. And we'll do small groups together with the Celebrate Recovery curriculum, following the steps and principles of Celebrate Recovery. So we're really, really excited about that. So if you haven't been and you've been itching to come this Friday, if you're dealing with hurts, habits, and hangups, and maybe you've never come to Celebrate Recovery, really want to encourage you. I'll be there as well. Just join us Friday night at 7 o'clock. It's a life-changing experience. Plus, you get to connect with some people and do life with them.
So I just want to encourage our people that the signs are happening. I mean, we are moving from the phase of total lockdown to a gradual phasing of being able to have more and more gatherings in different kinds of configuration. And be patient. There's going to, it's going to be a slow and gradual, but I promise you, we're going to get there. And while we're working on that, we're also continuing to serve faithfully. Hey, I want to share a cool story of our partner over in Togo, Africa, West Africa. Pastor Gary has stayed in close contact with our international partners. And tell me a little bit about what's happening in this picture, Gary.
Yeah, so Jeff got together with different connections. Jeff is a very connected pastor over there. He knows everybody, and he began to gather resources and food and things like that, bag them up, and he did a food kind of handout. And he made the national news. So this is from their national news where they did a report on him. And he says, look, this is just the first part. We're doing behind the scenes stuff to keep up with these families and pray with them and to keep on being the hands and feet of Jesus and the light to our community. And that's what he literally said in the article was those kinds of things. And his church's name was there behind it. And so just very, very cool to see him able to do that.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes with our folks who are serving in local peace.
Yeah, so we continue to partner with the Salvation Army. In fact, they got us to come out. They're getting us to come out twice this week. For the first time, we're going out. We went out today on Wednesday to help box and prep the meals that are going to be distributed, and then tomorrow we'll do what we normally have been doing, which is show up there, drive it to different assisted living facilities and elder communities, and then other shut-in places, and they drop these boxes at every door. So I believe that tomorrow they'll be hitting 46 different apartments, individual units, at
Wow.
one apartment complex. And then what I think is going to happen is, next month it all starts over again. And so they start hitting those same ones that they did at the beginning of the month and going on through. So that's really cool. We've started every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We have a few volunteers show up over at Mardella, and they hand out the school lunches to folks who come by to pick up their lunches. And so we're grateful that that Liza and the school opened that opportunity up to us. And so we have people on our team who are doing that each week. And then we've been bagging and prepping breakfast and lunch in brown paper bags and bringing them over to Halo, because Halo can't have their guests come into their cafe for breakfast and lunch right now, but they can't hand a bag out the window, you know what I mean? And as they walk by, they hand them that bag. And so we started out at the beginning of this saying, okay, we want to take one whole breakfast and one whole lunch, which means we need 80 of each of these bags. And this week we are upping that, and we're doing 2 days worth of each. So we're doing 160 breakfasts and 160 lunches. And we just do that very social distancing, appropriate assembly line style. On Thursdays, the team shows up. They sign up on a needs list, and they just show up and they bag, load it up in a car, drop it off. The Halo folks come out and take it out of their car. And so lots of good stuff like that going on. If you want to be a part of any of these things, if you go to orbc.net/give-help. So if you go to the Give Help part of our website, you're going to see where we talk about food, and you're going to see a form there that talks about boxing, distributing, and delivering food. You fill that form out, and then you get on my list, and I hit you weekly, sometimes daily, with opportunities that pop up for how to be a part of these things. Most of these things are happening during the week right now, and most of it's happening during the business day right now, but doesn't mean something couldn't come up off hours as well. But it's been really cool to see all these things going down. You also can pop over to the Peace Planet Oak Ridge Facebook group. I try to celebrate everything we do there and also make people there aware of everything that we're doing. And a lot of times I post that same link. If you want to join that team, you can find it there as well, in order to be a part of these things. So a lot of times the first people to hear about the opportunities that are coming up are those who join us on that the Peace Planet Oak Ridge Facebook group. And then there's one other group of people who I definitely want to give a big shout out to, and that is our care callers. We've picked up a couple new care callers this week. We got to shuffle some people around and keep up. We have some care callers who specifically, they want to be the ones who drive and try to connect with the people that nobody can seem to get a hold of. And then we have others who are like, I'm just going to call every single week. And then we have others that do all of that. And it's been really, really cool because there's been a couple people who it's like, wow, we haven't been able to get up with this person. What is going on? And then they drive over there and meet them. And it turns out they've been looking for somebody to connect with them, and they've just been missing. And so it's really cool. These guys have been really getting it done for us, and they're just having a great time getting to know each other. So when we're able to meet again, I have a feeling that these care callers and the people they've been checking in on are going to have a big party somewhere, and they're all going to get together, and it's just going to be the biggest old time you've ever seen.
That's so cool. So cool. Thank you guys for doing. I cannot tell you how much it does a pastor's heart good to know when we can visibly see the body being the body. You are being the hands and feet of Jesus. You're reaching out, and you really are sharing hope and healing and love to your neighbor. Thank you for doing that. So I just appreciate all of you serving in so many different ways. It's making a huge difference. Hey, one more thing, Pastor Gary, I'm just wondering, what did you eat that is causing exactly that to happen in that room? Because that's disturbing, brother, and I think you should never eat that again. Hey, on that note, I think you're seeing me sharing screen too. Does everybody see that, Oak Ridge Online? Are you able to see that? So I wanted to give you a couple of notes. Does it change when I change over to this other tab? Are you able to see that? So you see grow.orbc.net. Okay, I wanted to point out that our LMS online, for a while, we have had First Base online. We've had that for a little while, but what you may not know is that I just recorded a brand new version of First Base. We have tightened this class into an extremely tight form, and now this class is 1 hour and 45 minutes. We've moved from 4 hours in our old first version to 2.5 hours in our last version to now 1 hour and 45 minutes. I think you're going to love this. Brand new version of First Base. And then Pastor Brian Lloyd filmed a new version of Second Base just a few weeks into the COVID. He did that week by week, and we made that available. He went live, and now we have packaged that into the learning management system. And one more surprise for you, if it's not cool enough yet, Stacy Sires is now transitioned to a new role called the Grow Track Director. And so her role is moving into making sure that you have the tools that you need to grow your faith, both online and on campus. And she'll be doing that as we move into regathering. We're going to be announcing a brand new way that you can start taking Grow Track. We're going to offer Grow Track on a Sunday morning. And the reason we're making these classes tight and small is so that you could do that. We've got built-in childcare systems on a Sunday morning. So now we'll have it on an online track and a campus Sunday morning track. It is maximizing your ability to take real steps to grow your faith. And we want to make sure that you do that. And then one more thing I wanted to show you is on our website, we've launched this thing called the Broadcast Audience. A few of you have seen or heard a little bit about that. We now have a link straight to the Broadcast Audience so that you could click Join Our Broadcast Audience, and it'll take you to a screen where we'll walk you through every detail you would need to know. Now be sure it's clear. This is not the opening of the church. It's not the services. We're not open yet. And we announced that we won't be opening until we can deliver the world-class services that we have come to known by at Oak Ridge. And so we're not doing that probably until a stage 3. And if you ask when stage 3, I don't know. Okay, so we're going to take a step at a time, and we're gonna make sure that we're not open until we're ready to actually be open and deliver the kind of service offerings and the quality of experience that we've come to know about. So, but if you would like to see a filming of the live broadcast, we film that at 9 a.m. every Sunday. And I'm just telling you, if you come, you're going to be blown away. And the reason you're going to be blown away is you're going to see the unbelievable, incredible teams that we have in our tech and worship arts teams that pull off, I think, one of the greatest online experiences in all of America. I kid you not. I think it is one of the best experiences you can get anywhere. And listen, guys, I don't just think that. Thousands of people think that because they're watching us. And not only they're watching us, they're taking real steps. Tim, you were sharing a little story just before we started filming. Share that again one more time.
Yeah, we had a lady, actually it's the past 2 weeks, we've had folks reach out that have actually prayed to accept Christ online. And literally the view count is in the thousands. So PB wasn't inflating the numbers right there. It's actually thousands that are watching us each week, which is really, really cool. Yeah, it's just exploded. And so, getting back to your point earlier where the church is definitely not shut down. And Jesus is moving, and he's really meeting people, through the internet, which is really, really cool. Actually, I've been interacting with folks on the online service, and just a few weeks ago, we had someone in the area that didn't even know about solutions, and that was brought up in the chat, and they were going to give them a call. So real tangible steps taken from the message on the weekend online. So very, very cool.
One of the things we're going to be looking at, even as we reopen, is that we're going to continue to double down on our online platform. If that's an area that you say, man, I'm really intrigued and I would like to be a volunteer that could help, we're actually looking for folks who would be kind of online, what do we call them, hosts, or what are you calling that?
Yeah, I have a few folks right now helping me, but yeah, I would love to have a conversation with you, because you can make a real difference in people's lives, because we have a lot of silent observers. You see them when they join, you see them in the thread, and they are staying tuned the whole time and just starting a conversation with them. We see it each week. Yeah, I could use some folks in there with me, assimilating, actually really helping folks take steps in their faith. So
if you're a chatty Kathy, we need you. If you like to to chat and connect with folks in that forum in that way, we need you, because people, real people, hundreds and thousands of people are connecting with us online from all over, many of which will never be able to come to our physical campus because they're all over, scattered in the country and all over the world. And they don't have access to a church like Oak Ridge, but they're real people watching our broadcast, and they need Jesus, and they need to know that someone cares and that can walk with them. Man, if you could be a host that could help us on the online platform, we're not just going to shut that down when we open the church. We're going to continue. This is our future, folks. We're going to continue to invest and continue to move forward in a strategic future for our online platform. So please, if that, maybe you'll be a part of that. You be the cutting edge. You know, the guy who is the leading authority everybody talks to is a guy named Jay Cranda. He's the online pastor for Saddleback Church. He's on all these conferences and stuff. If you ever listen to his story, it's hilarious. He's an average guy who went to Saddleback, was just a member, and they said, hey, discover your shape. And he went to them and said, I don't see you doing anything in this area, but I kind of like it. And they go, do it. And he literally has been there from the ground floor shaping that. Now the dude is like a household name for churches saying, how do we do this? And it all happened not because he went to seminary or he was some technical expert. None of those. He was a guy who used his gifts. If you want to use your gifts to make a difference, this is an area that I think you could do it in a way that could really, really radically change lives in a way that you can't even dream or imagine. So let us know if you're interested. Get a hold of Pastor Tim and say, hey, tell me what that involves, and maybe I could do that. We'd love to have you. Yep. Any last thoughts, guys?
No. Just
nothing, honey. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon. We're looking forward to another announcement by Governor Hogan. We think it's going to be real soon to move us to that next stage. But I'm telling you, we're going to get there. Keep praying. We love you, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.